the Eldoret City Marathon. This is the 9th edition, and I want us to speak to the race director, Moses Tanui, who now joins me. I want us to go through how this marathon has grown over the years. Moses, karibu sana. Ningependa usimame hapa. Welcome to Scoreline.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You know, we arrived here early at 6 a.m. ready for the marathon tomorrow.
I know.
Yes, sir.
For the last 2 weeks also I've not slept. So
what goes into preparing for such a big marathon?
It is hard work.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I can say, because you see, it's like you are doing a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
A wedding, or
You're fixing here? Mm-hmm.
you are doing a wedding, or,
Yes.
or any ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, like now,
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot of things that is going on.
Yes.
And also a lot of things like registration of the athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Then you must understand that they have been registered.
Mm-hmm.
We have also like preparation for finish line,
Yes.
going through the course.
Mm-hmm.
So for the last 3 weeks, for sure I've not slept, because also I've gone to sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy that all our sponsors responded very well.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be with them tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, when we came here in the morning at around 9:30, 10, the queues were very long of athletes trying to collect, their bibs for the race tomorrow. This is the 9th edition.
Seven.
7th edition, sorry.
Yes.
Can you take us through the growth that this marathon has seen over the years? Because during COVID, we skipped that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have been having challenges
Mm-hmm.
during the entire session of this marathon.
Mm-hmm.
One is that in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
we had COVID, so we had to postpone the marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2023,
Mm-hmm.
we had to postpone also the marathon because of the change of government.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have sponsors by then,
Mm-hmm.
so we didn't want to put our athletes into action when we don't have prize money.
Yes.
But 2024, 2025, we had a very successful marathon, because the government came in strongly and pay for us the prize money, including everything. So this year again, the government is in, and the county government came in before even the national government and supported this marathon. And we are working closely with the two governments, the national government and the county government. We have no problem. And I think what we are doing now is what you remember what the president said.
Yes.
Bottom up. So for us, we are not running. We will have some elite athletes that they have traveled a lot, but for us, we focus in the athletes that train for 5 years without going anywhere. They don't have sponsors, they don't have shoe companies, they don't have managers. So that is our focus, that we need to bring them on board. If they become 1 to 20, I know automatically we have managers that they are eyeing on this marathon now, because we are becoming one of the most popular marathon in the world. Secondly, this year we are trying to get the label. And we got somebody from who is coming to see our organization and make sure that if we qualify, I think by next year we will be having also a label for the marathon. So those are our focuses. Number 2, the good news for the athletes. We have several athletes that they come from their homes with 100 shillings or 200 shillings. You know why this marathon is very important for this region? Is because many of the athletes train, but they don't have money to travel to Nairobi. They don't have money to travel to Kisumu. They don't have money to travel to anywhere. Because if you want to run in Nairobi, you must go with the transport, have accommodation, and for food.
Yes.
So it is very difficult for these athletes to travel. So the vicinity of this marathon is that athlete can have 500 shillings and come and win 3.5 million. That is the goodness for this marathon. And we have several athletes, even the winner of 3 times winner, Kipchirchir.
Yes.
He won 3 times. Now I'm happy to announce that he has built himself some business premises that is now running and helping him in today's running. So last year somebody borrowed our shoes
Yeah.
and he won some money. So this is the good news that we have in this region. Some even they come without money and they said, I want to run.
Yes.
For example, we had a lady from Turkana who said, I don't have any registration, but I'm in Eldoret and I want to run.
Yeah.
We agreed and we gave him a position, but he ran and he became number 3. So this is what I see, that it gives me a lot of motivation and a lot of encouragement to see these young people coming from the village, win 3.5 or any money from the marathon, and then I can see the families are happy. Yeah.
Moses, I saw a newspaper cutting of you from 1996 when you had won a marathon outside the country and you received a heroic welcome. That time the newspapers were black and white.
Yes.
I
That
saw
was Boston Marathon.
Boston Marathon.
100 years.
Yes, you'd won it and then you
100
received...
years, that was 1996.
Yes. And you received a heroic welcome at the JKIA. And do you feel that, or rather as the race director of the Eldoret City Marathon, do you feel like that, your dream is to have this marathon get to that level? When somebody wins Eldoret City Marathon, you are celebrated like a national hero.
That is why I'm saying this marathon, the first thing that I'm seeing or what I'm feeling is that I want this marathon to outlive us, the people who are now organizing and everyone, so that in future, maybe if it is 50 years or 100 years, somebody can be celebrated the way I was celebrated. But in that note, before that, we can even have somebody like Kipchirchir who has won 3 times. We can celebrate him in future. And you see, after 10 years, I went to Boston Marathon to go and watch Boston Marathon after 10 years that the marathon was 110 years.
Yes.
So I was invited to go back and celebrate with the winners.
Yes.
So we can do that. After 10 years, we can have also our winner, the first winner in maybe 2028.
Yes.
Yeah, because we will be 2028 because we have 2029.
Yes.
Because we have that cab of we can celebrate that hero during that time and to showcase to Kenyans that athletics or sport is very important. And I want to put this way, in the world, everybody knows about athletics in Kenya. But what we want to do as a Kenya, we want to merge, if possible. I'm asking our government, if possible, to merge tourism and athletics, so that when we do like Eldoret City Marathon, we have tourism that comes to see the marathon and go around the country, because this is very important. You can see the elite athletes, you can see the top athletes like Kipchoge and Faith, and then you go see the elephant and lion. So if we can do that, so that we can also brand
we make sports tourism bigger.
Yes, so that even if they give me a chance, for example, if Kenya, they normally celebrate wall something. If they can take Kenyans and say we have Kenya House with Tegla Lorupe, with Moses Kiptanui, or Poltergat signing the autographs, the line will be big. And that is one of the, that is one thing that I want to see, that Kenya is branded. Instead of taking Masai Sugar, taking some lions that is not live, they can take. But I would like to see that we have live athletes in that brand Kenya, so that even brand Kenya, they can select athletes. We are so many. It does not mean that you can select a few. You can select this year another one. Next year you take some, so that the world knows that branding Kenya, if you want to go to House Kenya anywhere in the world, you are branded. Sometimes even our embassies, they can do that and invite Kenyans and say, we have our athletes that are here, you come sign autograph with them, all the entire, so that we really sell our country.
Now, aside from that, this past week I had you speak to the governor of Uasin Gishu, Jonathan B, and you were trying to tell him that, probably in the coming editions, you want this race to have a bigger, prize pool. If you can tell us more about that.
It is my dream that, I feel for the marathoners. I've been a marathon runner. I feel that even 3.5 million is less money. After maybe doing your 6 years training, and then you come and run 42, it's a very, and I can tell you in 1993, my first marathon, I forgot my name at 35 kilometers. So imagine this guy this athlete that is around here, that is starting to
build them,
build
him or herself up.
Or herself. So we need really a good reward for the athletes, and this is my dream, that if Eldoret City Marathon can pay even 10 million to the first one, I'll be a very happy person. But we are trying as Eldoret City Marathon to see if we can pay 10 million to the first and pay to 20. We give them money. The organization is not something that I feel that is great to put money there, but I feel that the athletes deserve to get something, because the training for this marathon, you must train for 6 years, 6 months.
6 months, yes.
6 months is a lot, without food, without anything. So 3.5, I can see that it is still very less for an athlete. So I'm urging that if I can get a big sponsor, that we can give 10 million to the athletes. That's $100,000 or $90,000. In Boston, they give like 150. So why don't we put this prize money to these athletes? And they are very important. And I can tell you this, in any international races, especially Boston, Kenya cannot afford to advertise itself if they must pay. These athletes advertise Kenya the entire 1 week, talking about Kenyan and athletes.
Just like, we had last week,
Boston
Korir
Marathon.
and
Yeah.
Lokedi.
Now it is big news.
Yeah.
And they are talking about Kenya. Tomorrow, we have London Marathon. They are talking about Kenya and the athletes. So,
come to think about it,
Yeah.
most people will want to ask themselves, why is it that when Eldoret City Marathon happens the same Sunday as the London Marathon?
the biggest thing that it is a coincidence, because what happened is that we are, ourselves, we don't want to run this marathon during the Easter. And you see our changes of dates of marathon is we are trying to avoid Easter, because Easter is a very important day for Christians. So we are trying to avoid. And usually it becomes the same day with London, because if we see Easter is coming before
London.
Before
April.
Before April, then we put it like 20th, because also of the preparation.
Yes.
And if Easter is coming in the middle of April, then we can come after Easter or before Easter. So this is what is very important for us, is we are looking that Easter is a very important day for Christians, and we don't want to interfere with. So our aim is to put after Easter or before Easter. It depends. And this marathon, why we are saying the marathon is in April, is that we have so many athletes that are training for London Marathon, Boston Marathon, and there are a lot. So if you miss those two, you can come back and participate in this.
Yes.
And that is why we are looking at that before any athlete is not committed in the other marathons, then they can run in. And this is, this is what we are doing for Eldoret City. We are looking at, if you don't qualify to London, you can, or Boston, you can run Eldoret City Marathon.
Yes, and finally, before I let you go, running for climate change. This year, of course, each year we've seen you plant trees, trying to increase the tree coverage and trying to change, the environment. Probably, what are you doing this year?
Yeah, because of the rains, we are planning to do this exercise when we have a lot of rain. This year we started planting some trees before the marathon.
Yes.
And because of the rains, that is why I am with this climate action.
Yes.
Is, it is good for athletes to have fresh air and clean water.
Yes.
Number two, during my training in Kaptagat, I used to run in the forest even at 1 o'clock, and you don't feel the sun. You don't, even if it is sunny, like in October, November,
or even January,
or March.
Yes.
You can still train in Kaptagat forest, and that is why I'm saying forest is good for the athletes, and it gives us a lot of strength when we train. So
Yes.
that is my what I feel that Eldoret City Marathon should do, not for the marathon, but for the athletes. Yeah, and now the entire community can benefit from what you are doing.
Finally, as we wrap up this interview, tomorrow, what should Kenyans expect in this marathon?
We have the best athletes, and I want to say again, all the marathons in the world, the athletes are invited, and they can invite a certain number of athletes. But here in Eldoret, we have almost 100 or the entire 200 athletes that are running maybe tomorrow, or 500 athletes. They are all top-notch athletes. They are all elite athletes, because if they can go to anywhere,
Yes.
even if you are number 100 or number 100, you are the top athlete. So this is, I can say, this marathon is one of the most elite athletes participating in Kenya, because they come from their homes, but they are elite athletes. Otherwise, we cannot invite the international athletes, because sometimes it's very difficult for them to run in a high altitude. But we are looking forward that also they can come and test our climate before so that they know that how difficult it is to participate in Kenya. And we need also to have a world record, maybe for high altitude
conditions,
weather conditions,
Yes.
Because I don't know whether I think there is one from Mexico, but we want also to make Eldoret City Marathon as the best marathon. A world record can be done for high altitude. So that's what we are looking at. Because this is a special event, because it's special because it is in high altitude. It is not like any other marathon in the world. Yes.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Moses
you.
Tanui, of course, the race director for the Eldoret City Marathon. Will be taking place here in Uasin Gishu County tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. Remember that race will be live here on KTN from 6 a.m. But now we take a short break. When we come back, we continue by taking a look at what is happening in athletics, especially the results from yesterday's Kipkeino Classic. That will be in a bit.